Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with this quick prophetic message. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into that discussion, okay? First of all, I want to say if it doesn't fit, don't make it fit, okay? So take this message how it resonates. If you're someone who's experiencing a breakup, or if you're someone who's on the other end of the breakup, or if you're someone who knows someone who is breaking up, let me just say this first and foremost. This situation may not apply to everyone, but take it again how it resonates. If you feel like somebody has been kind of toiling back and forth with you, playing mind games and just playing with you in a sense, okay? Y'all have just been on a seesaw going up and down, having ups and downs in your relationship. One minute seem like they're on top, the next minute you seem like you're on the bottom, the next minute you're on top, you seem like they're on the bottom. I'm just here to tell you, basically, I received this prophetic message, and the message was, I saw this, somebody was just recently expressed their feelings of wanting to break up, okay? And the way I saw this was the other individual who chose to say that they were leaving the relationship. It's almost like they thought it was kind of funny in a sense. And why did they think it was funny? They thought it was funny because now that they chose to say that, I'm ending this relationship, now they see that the other person is chasing them, okay? So whereas before it may seem like you were chasing the other person, or maybe the other person was chasing you, take it how it resonates. But I see that this person thinks it's funny now that you are chasing them in a sense, okay? So one thing I want to say, and I'm just talking about take it how it resonates in whatever relationship, because the way I saw this person was kind of like they was um like they thought it was funny in a sense, okay? And for me, I don't think stuff like that is funny in a sense, especially when you intentionally playing with somebody's feelings and emotions. Okay, I don't think that's okay, or nor is it cool, because karma has your address, and trust me and believe me, when you're playing, if you're intentionally playing those games with somebody, that's gonna come back on you. And trust me when I tell you, that's just the laws of the universe. Period. Okay. So anyway, the other message that I saw was it skipped that scene and it showed me another scene. Like it was as if I was walking, and you know how sometimes you have the solicitors that come to your door, like Verizon type people in a sense, or Cox people, because they're trying to get people to sign up for their little bundle plans or whatever the case may be. I saw it as if I was kind of going to somebody's door in a sense. And the way I saw this was, it's almost like I saw this from a point of like someone was going to someone's house, but they noticed someone else was kind of like looked like they was headed in that same exact direction, okay? And it's like they knocked on the door and was trying to get the person to open up the door. They wasn't for sure if the person was going to answer. So the person answered the door, and it's like they answered it just in time, because it's like this individual oh, I didn't state this. There's like the individual it looked as if it was like a solicitor who was going door to door to people's houses. But the way I saw this was it looked as if they was going in the same direction as the other person. So just as the person opened up the front door, they fell into the house on the floor and they used their foot to kick the door shut. And just as they kicked the door shut, it's almost like that person was like walking up the steps to the front door in a sense. But nevertheless, let me explain to you, okay? So for some of y'all, this is a situation of some of y'all are running from yourself, okay? So usually, because this individual was dressed in black and he was kind of like a shadow figure in a sense, if you think about Peter Pan, the movie Peter Pan, the little shadow type being that was kind of like, you know, that was floating and trying to get the little boys to come to Neverland. So I say all that to say this is exactly what that was, okay? So some of you guys are running from your own self, okay? You're running from your shadow side. And basically God is here to tell you that he basically wants you to address, whatever it is that you find yourself running from. So whatever it is that your fears may be, if you're dealing with a situation of a breakup, if you're dealing with a situation of not understanding what's going on, basically God is just wanting you to really go deep and ask yourself, why are you running? Why are you running? Okay. Why are you running? Because to be honest with you, God just basically wants you to face your fears, because sometimes people fear that when they're not in a relationship and they feel like, oh my God, like they feel like I just heard they feel incomplete, but you're not incomplete. I'm here to tell you that. I'm here to tell you that the best love is self-love. Okay. So, and I say that to say Thank you, Spirit. I say that to say because you know what you need best, okay? You know what type of love you need. You know to what extent you need it. You know to what point that you need it. But for some particular reason, sometimes when we're in relationships, we tend to hold on a little longer than what we're supposed to. It's just what I just heard, okay? So basically, God is wanting us to basically get to a place of, if he's shaking shit up in your life, and if you're going through a situation of a breakup, he's having it to happen for a reason, okay? And the reason why this is happening is because sometimes you might have stayed a little too long. Sometimes it's almost like, sometimes God has to save you from your own self, because sometimes he may have been trying to give you bells and whistles and sending people to warn you and to tell you. And I don't mean just any people, but there have been messages of just saying that, hey, maybe this is not working out, you should end that. But you do things like you keep holding on, and you keep holding on because you don't want to end something that God is trying to end. Remember, God knows all, God sees all, God knows people's hearts. So remember, I said the other individual in the dream was, they thought it was funny because the person was chasing them. So sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, do people do things intentionally? And to me, that's a telltale sign of somebody who needs inner healing. Because if you find it funny that someone is actually chasing you and you think it's a game to keep going back and forth, that just goes to show your level of needing deeper healing, inner healing, okay? So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there. But I'm going to give you the Bible verse that was given to me, and I thought it was so interesting, right? So it said, the Bible verse is Luke. I'm sorry, is this the right one? I'm sorry, yeah. So the Bible verse was Luke 1:7-6 to 7:8. And it says, and you, my child, will be called a prophet of the Most High, for you will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give his people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the rising sun will come to us from heaven. Okay. So, if you look at this situation, it's almost like we just reliving history. Okay. It's almost like I'm coming in a form with a prophetic message as like a prophet in a sense. And it's almost like I'm just here to help assist souls on their journey, to kind of show them a better way to go. And so that we don't keep repeating the same history and the same cycles and the same generational cycles that we are meant to break away from, in a sense, in order to go forward, so the next generation doesn't have to deal with that, okay? So just know and understand that if you're someone who's dealing with a breakup, shakeup, or you're dealing with a chaotic situation during this holiday season, I'm just here to tell you that there is hope, okay? I myself had to experience this almost 5 years ago, when myself and my spouse had separated. What was that? Almost 5 years ago. I'm sorry. When me and my spouse had separated almost 5 years ago. So I say all that to say that there's hope in this situation, and just know that if I got through the situation, that you too can get through it. I know I've been through a lot of situations on my journey, and to be quite honest with you, I truly feel like that I am truly blessed, because the way I look nothing like the experience of everything that I went through, because I felt like I was being dragged to hell and back, okay? I had to claw my way out of hell, okay? But sometimes God will give you a certain situation so that way that, it helps to define you and refine you in a sense, okay? But I also heard that, let me give you this other scripture too, to share this other message with you. This one was Luke 1:68 through 7. It says, Praise to be the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come to his people and redeemed them. See, God is at a place that he's really trying to redeem his people. He's trying to put you back in your rightful place, okay? But sometimes we got to get out of our own way. And the reason why I say this is because we have to realize that we as a black people have fell from grace, because the moment that we turned our back against God and we started pursuing things on our own, it's almost like we had to deal with the wrath of God, because, I don't know if you guys ever heard the scripture when it talks about, God is a jealous God, that he wants you to himself, in a sense. So we got to get back to having that relationship with God, in a sense. And when I tell you, for me, although this journey it has had its ups and downs, but I'll say that I am very happy to where I am at right now. Just the level of, again, nothing comes easy and nothing comes by night, but I say all that to say that it puts me in a better place, because not only am I in a better place? But those around me, when I change, it's almost like it forces them to change as well too. So I don't do the changing because I want other people to change. I change because I want to change. Okay. And one thing about me is I've always wanted to better myself, better any situation that I'm dealing with and improve it because I know what I deserve and I know and I understand my worth. Okay. So with that being said, let me finish the scripture. It says Luke 1:68-7. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come to his people and redeemed them. Okay, God is trying to redeem you right now. He has raised up a horn of salvation. And I lie to you not, almost 5 years ago, in the month of May, I believe it was, I heard that horn. It was like, and I lied to you not, it was myself, my daughter, my son, and my husband at the time. We were sitting around. I looked at my daughter. I said, "Did you hear that?" And she said, "Yeah." And then my spouse had said at the time, he was like, I said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "Yeah, I hear that all the time." So that just goes to show you how sometimes we ignore the warning signs of what is being presented to us. And sometimes we have to learn how to get out of our own way and start questioning everything. Okay. Anyway, and it says, he he has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servants David, as he has said through his holy prophet of long ago. Okay, so remember, just kind of like how David came and David was sharing what he was sharing even with his family member, the same ones that had enslaved him, okay, that was jealous of him. But he went on to share his knowledge and share his wisdom and share what he had with them in a sense. But I say all that to say, sometimes when God is trying to remove you out of a situation, it's only for your own protection. Okay, because again, sometimes you can't see what it is that God can see. And remember, we got to stop putting God in a box, because God knows all things. Okay, sometimes relationships only happen for it can be an hour, somebody you passing on the street. It could be 2 weeks, a month, years in a sense. Okay. Just know that some relationships were meant to last and some just wasn't, because they was just either here to teach us some sort of lesson, or they was just here to present something to us that we needed to basically learn, something we needed to learn from the situation. Either you were the teacher in the situation or you were the student in the situation. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there, but I wish you all much love, much light until the next message. Bye.